the fucking electoral college is kind of like sketchy too. Is like I don't even fucking know who goes from my state goes and says this is who my state voted for, and that's not like a person. And like, yeah, this shit's all crazy.
It's funny you even mentioned that because I was just having this conversation probably a month ago with my mom, and she was like, "Who are you gonna vote for?" No one, probably. What?
Yeah.
Why? Well, your vote counts. And I said, if my vote counted, if any of our votes counted, I think a Democrat should have been in the White House when the World Trade Centers fell. Because if you think about it, Al Gore was ahead on the popular vote. The popular vote is what the people choose.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the people choose that person, and he
and
blew Bush out of the fucking water, dude.
Like the electoral college people from every state, like, who the fuck are they? You know what I'm saying, and how do you get that job?
Hi guys, welcome back to the Bull Talk with Big Jim podcast.
Guess what, motherfucker?
Some of the information you are about to hear, some may find disturbing.
I don't know who gave them this or who gave them the clearance. On the crotch.
Oh my lord.
Right there.
Can we Google that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I fucking stumbled down a dark hole and I love it.
Great cake parties.
You know, if I'm gonna believe anybody's bullshit, I'm gonna believe mine.
It sounds not politically correct, but
you two motherfuckers need Jesus.
No shit, huh?
Yep, he's playing for him right now. He plays tight end.
Damn. Well, that's pretty dope. How do you know all these people, man?
Man, I have no clue. I'm a social butterfly, as I attribute it to, honestly. I'm a curious guy too. It's like when I meet people, like I ask questions, you know, maybe that other people are maybe too uncomfortable to ask.
Uh-huh.
You know, but for me, when I meet people like that, it's like, when am I ever gonna meet someone this sweet again? Like, why would I not like want to know all this shit? You know?
Right.
I think
Go 100% or don't go at all.
Yeah, you know.
I just like the receptive. I mean, they actually do interact. There's a lot of people that hold back, but for the most part, I think the personalities that you got coming on, there's no mute, there's no filter.
Yeah, I have fun. Definitely fun.
All right, well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bo Talks with Big Jim podcast. Of course, with me, I am Bo, and with me is my dad, Big Jim. There he is, right there, that handsome young gentleman. And if you don't know, recognize the new face. This is Easy from the SpeakEZ podcast. And actually, I take that back, the SpeakEZ Sports podcast.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we're switching it up. Thanks, man. Thanks for acknowledging that. Sometimes
I didn't think you were gonna bring it up. I was like, well, maybe he didn't catch that. So
oh no, I definitely caught it.
Yeah,
I caught it. Yeah. So thank you, man, for coming on. This is like I said, probably a few months coming in the making. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Since he started, you guys started about the same time.
Yeah, I think we did, right?
I think so. Yeah. I started in what was it? March.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you asked me to come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I have so many people ask me like to listen to their podcasts, you know, and like sometimes because you have podcasts you actually listen to, you know, so you don't always listen to other people's. And like yours, the ones that I actually like caught, and I was like, well, I want to check this out because that stuff interests me. All the stuff you guys talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm hooked now, so I'm glad. I'm glad to say I was in on the ground up, you know.
Thank you. No, same here, man. When you had what's his name, Barnes on, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was dope.
What? Like I'm still flabbergasted. And then when you had what's his name from the what was it, the Big Baller company?
Oh,
LeVar Ball. When you put that out, dude.
He kind of I don't want to speak bad on him yet, but I want to get a full episode out of him. There's a couple guys that like I didn't get a full episode out of. He's one of them. Where it's kind of, well, I can do this for you, but you know, the full episode we'll look at down the line. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know how to contact them again from then. So we'll see if that happens or not. So he gave me the call, not the voicemail, and then he I had him send the one video.
That's crazy.
See how good the draft goes for his kid if he's happy to do anything.
Yeah. So
it's kind of like the presidency. We're gonna see who the hell's gonna be in next before all this headache goes away.
Yeah,
you've had quite a few people on, man. Like I said, you've got some shout outs from LeVar Ball. You got Barnes on there. You just had Kevin Lee on, which to me was amazing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
What was that conversation like? Like what kind of nostalgia or feeling did you get from that?
It was super. It's also it's so dope when you get to the point in the podcast where you're comfortable. When you're speaking with like some of your guests, and you're kind of just kicking it, and like to reach that point with guys at that level, I got like Kevin Lee is like just dope because we got to talk about he's from Detroit, saying he's from here in Michigan, and like we got to talk about a little bit of his upbringing. And we didn't get too deep into it, but like just I don't know, it just feels good to recognize that people start from like places you've been, and it's possible,
Right.
It gives me motivation of the podcast, and I hope that anybody that listens hopes it gives them motivation too, because like the most important thing to do is to fucking do it, bro. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of people you can talk to, like say you
Mhm.
had one of your best friends sitting next to you, you guys could flow for hours, but when they come in front of a camera, they just clam up,
Yeah.
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 So they get to open up too. Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah.
And then you realize, hey, this guy's a fucking human too. He wasn't always rich and successful. He just decided to put in the work to do so, and anybody can do it. It's dope.
That's important to remember. A lot of time, the biggest avenue that we have is the opportunity to use social media and to use people who are, like you said, they're just starting out. They're starting from somewhere. You don't start out as a Michael Jordan
No.
or a Conklin like your buddy. Your buddy played ball. Your buddy got his bell ringed in high school and in college.
Yeah.
It happens. So you got to pay the price a little bit.
Yeah, and it's dope to humanize them from that light and get to. It's motivating, and I hope that anybody listens finds it motivating as well, because I think it's dope.
It is.
Oh, it is.
It totally is. And Dad, you know him, so I'm definitely gonna give him a shout out. My cousin James JJ, he told me, he sent me a message. He bought a drone and he started doing stuff all over the Bay Area over here in California. And he's like, dude, since you started this podcast, it inspired me to do something else. So he flies his drone around the Bay Area and adds music to it. So I definitely want to give him a proper shout out. So give me a minute so I can find it. I believe it's called Peaceful Vibes.
Yeah, you should use that for an intro one time,
Absolutely.
for an outro or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, we got something planned. That's actually how he announced his next kid. I think they were over in Yosemite, and he's flying over some canyon, and then what was it, a canyon or was it the ocean, the water?
Hell, I didn't even see it, so I don't know. Now I'm interested because I didn't know he announced it. I thought he told us to wait.
No, he did. He did.
Oh, I didn't know that, but go ahead.
So he flew it. I want to say it was over in like the National Forest area. He flew it, and it just looks like a beautiful scenery, right? This is before the wildfires. Flying and flying, and then it pans up, and it's going up some rock, and then there's a sign right there, and he zooms into it, and it says like fourth adaptation coming, and
awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was hella cool.
Is it a boy or a girl?
I believe it's I wouldn't be surprised if it's a girl.
Another girl?
Yeah, another girl. This man's been blessed with 3 children, 3 girls. So I'm pretty sure it's definitely going to be a girl.
Yeah, I'm the only boy in my what do you call it, household when I was growing up too. So it's all girls.
That's got to be tough.
I had a son though.
Here it is, right here.
Are you the youngest or the oldest?
I'm the oldest, so it was good for me too.
That kind of helps a lot.
Sure, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Right, and then from here you go, and it pans. Let's see if I can. Whoops, go forward. Oh,
you're trying to fast forward like YouTube.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
And there it goes. He
put the sign up.
Flew right in. Yeah.
That's dope.
Crazy, man. Crazy. All right, so now let's get to the nitty gritty, the good juicy. Speaking of juicy, how the hell did you get Kendra Lust on the podcast, bro? Like, that is nuts.
When he told me you were interested in doing it, I was like, all right, I'll check out his podcast. So I had to go on a drive. It's an hour drive. And I just pushed play on my truck. I can't control it. It's all on the steering wheel. So I kept going, listened to all the guys that were talking, and then this girl came on. I was like, who the hell is that? And on my screen, it says Kendra Lust. I was like, how the hell did he get Kendra Lust? I mean, I totally took my eyes off the freeway. I'm doing 80 on the freeway, and I look at Kendra Lust. I could have died because of this woman. So, but anyway.
How did that come about? Did she contact you?
Give me about like 10, 15 minutes. I have a girl ready to marry, Nick. You know what I'm saying? No. Now I reached out. She's actually from Michigan. So and she's a big UFC MMA fan. So I reached out and I just, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, you realize talking to these people, like, that's literally all they do is take the chance, right? So I reached out and said, hey, I'm from Michigan, starting a sports podcast. I'd love to have you on, talk about UFC. I think it was 249 at the time because we ended up getting delayed and we did it afterward, but 250 is what it was. And she said, yeah. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, she said, yeah. And then, I messaged all my boys and I'm like, well, let me slow down because she might just bail on me too. Luckily she didn't. And she's super dope. She's super supportive. I actually got a shirt of hers, 'cause she looked out for me. I probably should hang it up. I think
definitely, man.
Yeah.
That's hella cool.
Yeah, I gotta fit that in.
That's crazy.
And that's a good example of people, a lot of people know her for one thing, but and they're not going to give the opportunity to listen to her to talk to you, and they're not going to give her the opportunity that she's just a person like everybody else, but she's known for this. So that's the biggest downfall, I think, so far for a lot of people. There's a girl that we're trying to get on that's very similar to that.
Yeah.
And she's known for adult entertainment, but she's also does comics, and she's also a very politically minded person. But if you know her, if you see her, she's pretty well known. She's been around for the last 10-15 years. But
I wonder if I've seen her.
I'll have him text you the name.
I'll send it. And for those watching or listening who don't know who Kendra Lust is, she's an adult film star. So that's oh my gosh, breasts. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a big old booty.
But also on the topic of MMA, what'd you think of the fights this past weekend, man?
So there was only 7 fights, and I wasn't mad about it. I know I was laughing at all the announcers poking fun. Like, we're not mad about only 7 fights because, like, sometimes it is a lot, bro. All these damn fights, like, there's like prelims to the prelims sometimes. Like, what the come on.
Yeah, the early prelims when no one's
like,
there.
what are you guys doing?
The janitor's still cleaning from the night before.
Yeah, like what the hell, But it was pretty dope. Michelle Pereira, did you see that guy?
Oh,
yeah.
He's the one who smacked the other dude.
Oh my god!
He got smacked at weigh-ins, bro. Then at the middle of the fight,
he just kicked.
That was awesome, man.
Dude, that was an amazing fight, and I already liked the guy. I liked him from his last few fights, but this fight in particular, he did start doing his little showboat thing and fucking around. But the fact that he was able to pick this dude apart, skillfully.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he dances so much, but if you ever were to like just focus pure on fighting, he'd fucking he's still a monster regardless, but he'd be an absolute monster.
And he definitely showed it. He definitely showed it. So when he did that, I was like, holy shit. Like, bro, props. Definitely.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because he doesn't really speak English at all, but he trains here in Michigan, in Brighton, Michigan. So I messaged his coach. I know. I was like, what the, like, I was still confused, and I've been trying to get them on the show, but I don't know what's up with that. I don't know. But, yeah, I messaged him. I'm like, I hope he gets slapped more at weigh-ins because, like, that was an amazing performance, dude, honestly. Like,
that slap definitely.
Well, less dancing because it's cool if you're dancing, but when you're winning, don't do it.
Right.
You're not winning.
Even the backflips and the cartwheels in the middle of the ring, that's cool. But be ahead on the card before you start doing some crazy shit like that.
Yeah. One thing I thought was smart is when he put his hands behind his back, the guy kicked him. He kicked his leg. I was like, that's kind of smart. I don't think anyone would ever see that coming.
Yeah,
you figure put your hands behind the back, guys don't swing at your face, and he's like, you gave him a good leg kick.
Yeah, that was a great fight. That was a really, really great fight. I was actually very happy with it.
Yeah, OSP had a nice knockout too.
You know what? Bringing him up, he looked good, but he looked very flat-footed, didn't he? Or was it just me?
To be honest with you, that was one of those ones where you're like on your phone.
Yeah.
Back up,
it was kind of a sleeper up until something happened.
Yeah. So I honestly didn't get to assess it from that angle, but I know that like before this, he's had a lot of finishes with there's a Von Flug choke in jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
They were talking about like trying to change the OSP choke because at one point he had got like 3 or 4. I think it was maybe three finishes in a row with the same choke.
Yeah. I think he has
So
the most Von Flue chokes right now in the UFC with like 4 or 5.
Yeah, so I think he could stir some trouble in the light heavyweight division. I didn't see how he looked on the feet. I know he lost a big Ben at heavyweight, but in light heavyweight he can stir some trouble because there's not a lot of names in that division right now.
No, and that was going to be my next question too. Like, what do you think of Jones giving up his title and then moving up to heavy?
I think it's smart career-wise, like, because he hasn't looked the same, and it's like, so what are you going to sit here at light heavyweight and take your first loss like a no-name guy? Or if you're going to take a loss, why not have it be like, oh, he moved up to heavyweight to fight, bigger, stronger guys,
Right.
lose to champion Stipe or lose to Francis Ngannou, don't lose to like a Dom Reyes or Jan Blachowicz. You know what I'm saying? Like those aren't guys you want to take your first. Those aren't guys you want to like put your legacy on the line against.
Yeah.
Same thing with GSP. GSP is like, I'll come back, but I'm not going to come back to fight Kamaru Usman. I'll come back to fight Habib or
someone big.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, it makes sense money wise, but for like for me personally, I don't want Jones, and Dana even put. I think actually you reposted it. He doesn't want Jones skipping the line, which I wouldn't mind if he can fight any one of the top 5. That'd be great to work his way to the champion. That'd be perfect. But don't just put him in line like how they did with DC, which, by the way, good on him for knocking out Stipe and being the champ. But I think for someone like Jones to really put his skill and everything to test, put him in the top 5 and see what happens from there. Because top 5 is Stipe, you got Ngannou, you got Derek Lewis, or no, he's 6, I think.
I'm not even sure the exact rankings. I couldn't tell you, but I mean, those are top names in the division you want to see him against, right? Like Curtis Blades.
Yeah, there you go, Curtis Blades. Yeah.
Like and another thing too, I think is like
and Overeem.
Yeah, Overeem. Yeah, I hope we see because he hasn't looked the same, and it's I used to be a big John Jones fan, but it's easy to say like, wow, like, it really must have been the steroids, right? Because like post steroids, he's not the same guy. He doesn't even fight the same attacking style. So I'm hoping the challenge at heavyweight also brings back the aggressive John Jones that we fell in love with as fans,
Absolutely, dude. Because
maybe he grew a little stagnant at light heavyweight as well. Like I don't know. I don't want to say it's steroids, I don't want to, but it looks like it, bro. It's like
just a little, dude. Just a little.
Yeah, he's only 32. People are like, oh, he's older. It's like DC's fucking 40. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Even that last DC fight, with Stipe for the that was their third fight, right?
Trilogy,
Yep.
Yeah. What'd you think of that? Do you think he lost because of the eye poked, or was he outskilled?
I think Stipe's coaching is super, super, super underrated. I think he's got some of the best coaching in the game. If you go back from that second fight, like the adjustment they made to go with the body shots.
Yes.
And then when he was getting his ass kicked that whole entire fight, he even got fucking like WWE suplex at some point.
Yeah.
You remember that? Like,
yeah.
DC had him in the air. It was like, God, like what the fuck? I've never even seen that. And then, then they made that coaching adjustment. Hey, start hitting him in the body. Bam, hits in the body, wins the fight.
Yeah,
knockout,
changed it completely.
Yeah, and then and then going into the third fight, so DC's having some more success, winging that right hand out of the clinches and whatnot, and then goes back to the corner, second round. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. because DC kept saying, "Get your wrestling shoes." Remember ahead of the fight?
Yeah.
And he got that first takedown in the beginning of the fight, right?
Yeah, he did.
Stipe hits the second round, goes to his corner. They tell him to stop extending his leg and to lean him up against the fence and make sure you're holding his right hand out of that clinch. Yeah. And he got those underhooks too because he's a shorter guy. So like,
bro,
taking him on. That's what I'm saying. Coaching wise, that was just fucking brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Because like that wasn't the first round, but then they went back to the corner, and that was the second round and the third round. You know what I'm saying? And it was like,
how. I mean, obviously, being a fighter is one thing completely. How difficult do you think is coaching? Because you have to see little shit in the middle of a fight, and you're like, watch his hand, watch his foot.
So, I think what's even more difficult about like coaching, because like we kind of do that at home, right? Like when we're watching the fights, we're like, hey, like stop doing that, or like or like the second Stipe fight, DC kept doing that hand thing, and Stipe was walking into it. Like we could say that we'd say, hey, stop doing that, you know, but it's getting the fighter to actually do it, I think, is like the hard part about coaching,
Mhm.
you know, because I mean, Justin Gaethje, I don't know, remember the Ferguson fight, and his coach was telling him to settle
Yes.
down, calm
Yes.
down, relax,
Yeah.
because your adrenaline's going so much in that moment, and it's hard to like sit back and like listen and use your head at times, you know. I'm sure it is. I'm not a fucking fighter, but talking to Cody Stamen, he kind of spoke on that, you know.
Mhm.
So I think the hard part about coaching is actually like, I guess transitioning the message to like actually hit your fighter and have them like actually apply it, you know.
Right.
Right,
In that
trying to get
moment.
the confidence in them right at that point when their adrenaline is so high. And they're
Yeah,
like,
because
no,
you can
I
see
felt the fighter feels like they're doing it the right way.
exactly, and that's like too like. So I just started like hard sparring at this new gym, and like I'll go out, I'll come, you know, I came out of my first spar and I was like, I won that, right? And they're like, it's pretty close. I was like, but I felt like I won it, you know? So, and I never had that experience where I was like, now I understand why fighters come out and they're like, I won that. And you're like, what the fuck was that guy? I think that he was like happy in
Right.
that fight, you know?
Yeah. Especially with the adrenaline going and your mind's just racing and racing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel it because I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I think we spoke on this
Yeah,
a few
we
months
talked a
back.
little bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So even in jiu-jitsu, like you think, you know, oh man, I'm passing this dude's guard. I'm in side control. I'm holding it. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, you just get swept and they get a fucking arm bar out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, man, I had it.
It's
So I
fucking
can
purple
imagine.
rifles.
Yeah.
Get those fucks on me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill, a rapid skill. You can't guess, you know, you have to, if it's the process, if you're already going into it, coming out of a counter and you're set up to do an offensive move, don't hesitate because he's already in his counter. He already sees that coming and whatever you're setting up for.
Yeah, that's crazy
It's
too. Is the
difficult.
way that they're able to not even predict, but they could see what is coming. You know,
Yeah.
especially if they study the fight, if they study the fighter. Excuse me. I don't know which fighter, but if their bread and butter is a 1-2 combo with a low kick coming afterwards, and they check it immediately, that low kick, it's
Mhm.
just crazy to adapt and read that just like so fast every single time. It's nuts.
It is crazy. Guys like that. Yeah.
I got a question. Okay, obviously I'm older than both of you guys, so I've been
What?
around a little bit. So I've been around since the beginning of UFC, when it was the UFC. Okay, so it's been around 25 years. At what point do you like, or do you prefer the technical and the coaching aspect of this sport, or would you prefer now what they have like the bare knuckle league? You know, the first 10 years of UFC was mixed martial arts. Some guys, Tank Abbott was just a street fighter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
you mean like
what would you prefer?
different
the
style
later
of
or the
fighters
prior?
fighting?
Right.
That's a good question because you are older than me, and I missed those days. You know, I ran back and watched them. You know, that's a good ass question. I think because I haven't seen it, and it would be fun again just to like see what skill is the ultimate skill.
Well, Gracie ruined it for everybody. Once he started coming in submission, I mean, you know, the Don Fries and the Steels the Severns and all that.
Yeah, who's the one guy who did WWE for a minute? Ken Shamrock.
Oh, Ken Shamrock.
That is juice to the gills on all the goddamn steroids, dude. And here's little old fucking Hoist Gracie just fucking like
tore him apart. And what's really crazy about that is that he did what was it called?
Shootbox wrestling or whatever.
Shootbox, yeah. Bro, like he was destroying people.
It was like just some like, it's insane. It's insane.
And then like you said,
still
little Gracie. Yeah. Fuck yeah, he is. At like 90 years old.
Fucking abs at abs.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no. It's hard for that is a tough question because when I first got obviously, Dad, you were watching it when it was bare knuckle and you know this type of fighter against this type of fighter. I was watching it when Tap Out was still a huge name. When the Huntington Beach Bad Boy and the Iceman were fucking the top dogs. So that's I don't know. I like it. I liked it a lot back then, especially when it came to money wise, because there's obviously a bunch of stigmatism when it comes to certain paychecks for the fighters.
Yeah.
But when they had Reebok take over for their personal sponsors, I was like, that's a little messed up. That's because that's their paycheck.
It got too much what
Mainstream.
Mainstream when in Rocky when Apollo Creed came out with all the lights and what's
the whole gimmick. It was a whole
whole gimmick. After Gracie came in, but the first early parts, it was the closest thing we're gonna see, except for now, bare knuckle, to the gladiator fights.
Yeah. Well, did you watch that 30 for 30 with Tito and what's his name, Iceman?
No,
I haven't watched it.
Bro.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. Yeah.
Bro, ESPN Plus. I actually think it's called Tito and Liddell or something like that. Holy shit! Like they explain from when they first start to their hitting the rock bottom until you get this pretty boy who knows how to fuck people up, Tito, until he goes up against, and that's what started their whole rivalry.
Yeah,
it's because they were actually sparring partners.
What, for real?
Yeah,
they were buddies.
They were sparring.
Don't tell me anymore. I want to watch this documentary now.
Oh, dude, I'm not gonna say anything. It's fucking nuts. It's a great documentary. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I didn't know
so
that.
Good.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
So real quick before we get to our other crazy shit that we're gonna be talking about, I want to know a couple things. One, what are your thoughts on, or do you think fighters should be able to use IVs or TRT? And do you think Conor is done? Should he stay out or should he come back and fight?
I think they should be able to use IVs because it's such a you're depleting yourself. The weight cuts are brutal, you know. But TRT, no, I don't think that's
no.
I don't think that. It's like one thing if TRT were just to put you on like the equal playing field. Yeah. It's one thing you have fucking Uberim, fucking, you know,
dude,
walking around.
Belfort.
Yeah, Belfort. Yeah, you know, that's like a little more than TRT, or it's just doing like more than what it's meant to be, you know.
Right.
I need to get on that shit.
Yeah, I think the IVs should be beneficial. I mean, people do it to cure themselves from hangovers.
Yeah.
You know, they drain like
Yeah, actually, and you know what too? If it was supplied by the UFC, then it won't be an issue either, you know?
Right.
You don't have to question anything if you just supply it as a promotion. But there's always like some kind of weird technicalities that comes with that stuff, I feel like. Because I know, well, no, because it's not boxing.
No.
Yeah, they could. Yeah,
they could. But I think the issue that stands with that is that they think that whatever the bags can be contaminated with something else, which is understandable. But
UFC providing it, then that's
exactly that should be fine. That should be 100% fine, especially with all of their doctors that they have. I mean, come on, dude.
Or if just having it verified by USADA, then that should be totally legal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know. If they're gonna knock somebody for having an elevated B-level supplement,
is that a USADA rule or is that a UFC rule?
No, I'm going off what you're saying. If you
I was wondering who made the IV thing, like who.
I think the IV rule was USADA. I think USADA was the one that actually came up with it. Yeah. It was just it's stupid because if you go back and watch a number of the Ultimate Fight, there was one in particular, and I believe it was on. When Nate Diaz was on Jens Pulver's team when he was going up against BJ Penn, one of his teammates, he fucking dehydrated so much that he passed out and started having a seizure. Like that shit's scary, dude. And people do that shit around the clock. And I'm not a fan of that personally. If anything, I think people should fight like ONE FC. They should fight at their weight class. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit harder to do so because you got to train your body to go back.
There's some crazy shit too.
What's up?
I was talking with someone. I don't remember who it was, but so you know how USADA is supposed to test for steroids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But USADA is obviously the U.S. like they're a U.S. company.
Yeah.
Right.
The fighters out of the country aren't getting tested that often at all until like they hit the States.
Right.
Really?
Isn't that crazy thing about? So now, like you see Paulo Costa, the juice monkey, the quote unquote juice monkey,
Right.
but and then you hear that and you're like, well, maybe he is on some shit. If they're not getting tested, like, if they're not testing out in Brazil, because it's a U.S. doping agency, not a fucking Brazilian or.
That makes
Isn't that
sense.
crazy?
Yeah.
Aren't you like, what the fuck? That's why I was like, too. I see it in your face. I'm like, yeah.
What the
When I
fuck?
heard that, I was
dude?
like, what? Yeah.
But then they're bringing them in to set them up for failure, basically.
Well, they're not the only
That's what
people
it's.
They test them
going
like
after
different
is
states,
John
right?
Jones.
Yeah.
John Jones and the Diaz brothers are technically the only ones who they make a big stink about it.
True.
Unless I'm wrong, but they catch Jones for having cocaine in his system from 5 years ago, and boom, he loses a shot at a title.
Speaking of the Diaz brothers, I understand they're great because he got suspended 5 years for marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have fucking
Nick got suspended for that.
Nick Diaz, tested positive for marijuana, got suspended for 5 years. And then Anderson Silva got tested for PEDs, like performance enhancing drugs, and only got suspended 1 year.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they.
What the fuck is up with these guys?
Well, here's the thing with
Nevada,
that.
though.
But it's not just Nevada. It's Dana White.
It's Dana White.
Dana White doesn't fuck. If you go back and watch like Strike Force days, Dana White when fuck, what was it? Who was Bully Beatdown? Mayhem Miller.
Yeah.
So when Jake Shields won a fight, and I can't remember who he won the fight against. This was in Strike Force. Miller came into the octagon there and was like, "Hey, dude, what's up? Where's my rematch?" Because they fought before. Yeah, the huge brawl. And who was it? Because who's with Jake Shields? The fucking Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
So when all that shit happened, that was one of the first times when Dana White was like, "Fuck the Diaz brothers. They are not coming into the UFC. They will not be coming in." And da 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 da. Oh, there was a big brawl with the Diaz brothers. Fucking surprise there.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, those are his big fucking money makers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Dana White just doesn't like the Diaz brothers, unfortunately, because those are huge, huge paydays for them. And you just posted recently that Nick is probably coming back within this year or next year.
Yeah, 2021, he did a test cut to like 175 or 165. Yeah.
So who's coming in to fight him? Because I guarantee you that's going to be because the last one, I believe the last person he fought was Silva, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And that was actually that was 5-6 years ago because we went to my it's a dad shower. This was right before my kid was born.
That's
Remember
right.
that?
We were at the bar. Yeah.
We were at the bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all watched that fight, dude. And that was a crazy fucking fight because that was a very hyped up fight. But if Nick comes back, and I really hope that he does, I don't want him to fight Connor because payday for him that'd be great. But how badass would it be if older brother comes back and beats the fucking the BMF?
That's what I was gonna do. I did a little clip. I was doing them consistently, but then I got sick. But as I say, it's fucking classic like schoolyard fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Little brother gets beat up, he comes back with the big brother.
Yeah.
Dude, if that happens, that'd be
the fight to make all day.
Far bigger payday than it was when he came in. When he first off fought Nate, then came in on a 6-day notice to fight Usman.
Yeah.
Like that payday for Nick's return and to fight the person who beat his younger brother, bro. That payday would be
Diaz
nuts.
fight to make. I don't want to see Diaz and Masvidal too, because Masvidal handled him fairly easily. No disrespect to Diaz, but that was like a schoolyard beatdown. He even slammed him at one point.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, what the fuck's going on here? He's getting his ass kicked. Yeah.
He made him flinch.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he dropped him too, and Diaz doesn't get dropped.
Nope.
He dropped him with the elbow, bro. That was that's what the one that cut his eye. I mean, there's so much scar tissue on that fool's face too.
Yeah, there is.
It's freaking nuts. All right. Let's get into the weird. So when I first contacted you, we were talking to conspiracies and a bunch of crazy shit. So we're gonna dive deep. What kind of conspiracies are you actually into? Like what makes you trip out?
Anything that can convince. What makes me trip out, man? There's so many, and I don't even know. So you guys talk about them all, right? Because there's some.
We're getting there. Yeah. We're definitely getting there. There's some that I definitely want to touch on.
Yeah, there's this recently the I hate talking about it because gives me such bad vibes and shit. But the fucking that Wayfair stuff was like I didn't, and I know if ever like
Wayfair.
I
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And somebody else told me there's something called Pizzagate, and I was like, I don't even want to know because I just had my son. This is my first child, like last October on Halloween.
Congratulations, man.
And like now having him, I mean that stuff's disgusting either way, right? But now that I have a kid, fucking like hits me different, man.
Oh, totally. There was I was on World Star the other day, and there was some video. It's a fucked up system to begin with when it comes to kids, but some little girl is like legit, and it the fact that it's a girl, because I have a daughter. I was at work and I wanted to fucking bawl my eyes out because you could just hear the fear in this girl's. The judges and the CPS people were not listening to her, and I guess her stepdad was doing some weird shit, and she even said mom would watch, and the dad is recording everything. As far as the conversation that the little girl's having, is recording on his phone, and out of nowhere the CPS is like, listen, you cannot have your daughter. She is going back with her mother. Like no one was fucking listening to that and to that little girl, and then the video stopped. But I was like, man, this is fucking insane. And the fact that so much weird shit too. You know, you got Epstein with his fucking weird ass island that no one thought was real for 40 plus years or whatever that was. Then you got
swept under the rug too, like
right,
like nothing, and like. And I'm even like, as like a biracial, like male, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand all the BLM stuff, you know, and like obviously like there's some truth to that, and there's some situations like, but even more so there's kids, you know, that's the shit we need to be writing about, because these motherfuckers are like, it just fucking goes away, and it's all in the fucking like same loop of fucking successful people, you know, and like the other thing too, bro, like low key is like these fucking prosecutors, man, like people bitch about the cops, but like the prosecutors are the ones who like let them walk away, you know what I'm saying? Like,
totally.
And they're elected officials. You know what I'm saying? Like you're electing like these people in, these prosecutors and these judges, like we're, you know what I'm saying? Like, and motherfuckers like want to like bitch at like the cops, like not every cop's a bad cop, but this fucking single one fucking person prosecutor, you're like sending this guy to prison, but letting this guy go for killing people. Like those are motherfuckers you need to be mad at. And like protest places like that. Like, go protest at a courthouse. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like, protest places where fucking matters. Don't stay in the middle of the fucking freeway and cause more issues for yourself and other people too. Like, I just wish like it was just directed like and applied in a better way when that shit happens. And
no, I totally agree. And that's actually a topic that I want to cover a full episode on. But there's this judge. It was a fucking judge that was locking kids up in jail as adults. Like 16-year-old kids were doing.
He was getting a kickback from the prison. The owners of the prison. He was getting a certain dollar amount for every kid he'd lock up in an adult facility.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah,
insane, man.
But he's an elected official, and that's totally fine with. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Adding someone's pocket.
Yeah, and you know it's crazy. Like we don't know that guy. Do you know that guy's name?
No, I do. I have to pull it up, but there was
these officers and stuff like that. You know their name because the news are all over it. But when shit like that happens, the news doesn't fucking like cover it or like put it in the same light. No. And it's totally disgusting because like you're ruining someone's like fucking life at that point. Like
100%, and it's fucked up. It's really fucked up, and it pisses me off because you know people don't don't read between the lines sometimes of what the fuck is really going on. And not to say that I know what's going on.
No, yeah, because when it's not addressed, it continues to happen. And it's just I get so sad about it because like fucking like just no one's like fucking either smart enough or just like the news just dumbs you down from feeding you what they want you to care about. It's fucking it's wild. Especially so another fun conspiracy. How about the judge whose family got murdered, or her son, and her husband got shot?
Son and husband. Yeah, in L.A. Out of L.A.
Mm-hmm. She overheard like a couple of like cartel cases and Epstein case too. Epstein finance case.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't look into it, but I did see the headline for it. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, your family gets slaughtered, and then next week you're back at work.
Like how is that even comprehensible?
And it's like
your entire family dies.
Was it Epstein or was it the cartel? Like what you know what I'm saying? Who the fuck? I don't know. It's
could have been both.
Yeah, the whole Epstein the whole thing with Epstein is fucking nuts too. The fact that people are like, nah, he didn't kill himself or he did kill himself. Just the fact that this fool has an island and a lot of it's fucking documented that crazy shit's been happening there for a long time. is fucking ridiculous. It's sad.
Yeah, there's so many conspiracies, man. Honestly, like there was even a thing where I think during the first term or before Donald Trump's first term, where there was like a DNC like email scandal where like Bernie was in the league, and then like at the Democratic National Convention or some shit, there was like an email chain saying, "Hey, we want to go with Hillary because of this, so make sure you guys are rooting for her," or some shit like that. It's like, I don't know, that the fucking electoral college is kind of like sketchy too. Is like, I don't even fucking know who goes from my state goes and says this is who my state voted for, and that's not like the person. And like, yeah, that shit's all crazy.
It's funny you even mentioned that because my I was just having this conversation probably a month ago with my mom, and she was like, "Who are you gonna vote for?" No one, probably. What?
Yeah.
Why? Well, your vote counts. And I said, if my vote counted, if any of our votes counted, I think a Democrat should have been in the White House when the World Trade Centers fell. Because if you think about it, Al Gore was ahead on the popular vote. The popular vote is what the people choose.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the people choose that person, and he
blew
Bush out of the fucking water, dude.
Like the electoral college people from every state, like, who the fuck are they? You know what I'm saying, and how do you get that job? You know, like what and what political party are they? You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck? It's so crazy.
It is crazy.
Like McCain had the numbers to outdo Obama.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was blowing them out of the water, and then Obama wins. And nothing against any person who's ran for office. Mm-hmm. It's clearly a tough fucking job for anybody. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
But the fact that anyone who's an elected official, oh, I'm here for the people. I'm here for the people. The people are the number one for me, and the people. Well, the people chose, and the people didn't get what they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too. They're like, hey, anybody in the world can be president, or anybody in the country, you can be president, except for these two people. You just have to pick from anyone can be president. You just have to pick from these two people. Like what? What?
Yeah. Dude, it's nuts. And just, I mean, you said it. You said it best too. There's so many fucking conspiracies. 9/11, right? That's a whole other conspiracy, right? Like, oh, it's an inside job. But a lot. So people talk about the buildings that fell, which I believe building 1 and 2 or A and B. I can't remember what they're called. Obviously, the Twin Towers. Those fell. Another building that fell, some may know about, is Tower 7. Have you heard about Tower 7?
Mm-hmm.
No.
You never heard about Tower 7?
No.
Then you
never got into the whole 9/11 thing.
Then you definitely won't even know about Tower 6. So let me explain Tower 7 first. Tower 7 was another, I think it was one of the financial buildings of the World Trade Center. They held all the money. Oh, by the way, the owner of the World Trade Center took out an insurance policy the day before the attack, and he got paid out billions of dollars.
Billions, almost in the trillions.
Yeah. And then I got a funky ass looking white dude. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But so the towers get hit by the planes. They blow up. They fall in. Now Tower 7 on BBC, if I'm not mistaken, it was BBC.
Lost likes that one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I just got that. This woman
tower. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the BBC tower. That's fucking good. That just made me laugh. That's a good one. She's reporting that Tower 7 had fallen, right? So if his mustache was Tower 7 right here, for everyone listening, my dad's mustache is behind me. If his mustache was the tower, it fell. But if you've ever seen a controlled demolition, when they blow everything out, it falls like this, right?
Yeah, and my buddy was telling me too, like something about the type of metal that the plane was made out of wasn't like it shouldn't have burnt.
It shouldn't. Like there's so much conspiracies behind it. Yeah. So with Tower 7, that happened, right? It falls in. Now keep in mind, Tower 7 fell 45 minutes after the 2 towers fell.
So crazy, dude.
Now also, she reported, yes, Tower 7 has fallen as well. As she's saying this, Tower 7 is in the background. Then you see it fall.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, yeah.
On her left-hand side.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
But I got blown away, and you know who I'm talking about, Sam Tripoli. If you never heard of Sam Tripoli, you want to go on a conspiracy route, bro, listen to his podcast.
Yeah.
That's
I listen to yours.
I had to stop listening because it was freaking me out.
Makes your head hurt.
It does.
Bro.
And they go deep, like the abyss of the ocean. That's how far they go when it comes to conspiracies. So he talked about Tower 6. And I was like, what the fuck, Tower 6? And he's like, if you're listening to this and you're thinking the facial expression that I just made, bro, it didn't even fall. It fucking blew up. There's an aerial view, a satellite picture of Tower 6, and there's a hole. It's a 9-story tower, and it goes all the way to the basement, the sub-level, and you see a hole from, I guess, 9 to 10 stories that just blew out of this building, and it didn't fall.
It's so crazy.
But nobody talks about Tower 6.
Yeah.
Like,
that shit's nuts, man. Because like I also like try to picture like what's the big picture behind it. You know, like the goal is to get back in Afghanistan and Iraq to finish your dad's war or some shit. Like what's the fucking like what's
money.
the end game here?
Easily money. It could definitely be money.
That war, other than the opioid, the opium pods. But my buddy, you remember that movie Three Kings with Ice Cube and Mark Wahlberg? A lot of that is based on that war, Gulf War. A lot of it was protecting gold.
I was pretty young when it came out.
Yeah, a lot of it had to do with gold. He even said his name was Eddie. He's like, Jim, I remember securing palaces full of gold, and that's all I did. That's all he did.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude.
That's kind of like Fort Knox. People, it's a.
I know it's a fort, but like, what do they protect? Is it gold?
That's what
there?
Money. It's supposed to be, yeah.
They say it's supposed to be all of the national reserve, the gold, the silver, the money, the jewels, the gems, all the other Kendra lusts. Like, I mean, everything that you could think of.
Isn't it crazy? Like all that fucking mayhem for like a fucking paper or like metal, you know? That's literally all it fucking is. It's not a metal that cures cancer. It's not a metal that fucking makes your dick grow 10 inches. It's not fucking like, it's just fucking paper.
That's all
and
it is.
And a metal, bro. That's why sometimes I wish I don't wish I was over. I mean, I don't know. I wish I almost was born into a simpler way of life because like you get so caught up and stressed out with stuff, you know, going on with money and what you perceive as happiness, but really it's not fucking like it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's money and all that shit. Fucking like here in America matters, yeah. But like the point of other people elsewhere is just to survive. They're happy just like fucking live another day and see their family. You know?
Right.
It's like,
right.
I don't know. Fucking yeah. That's crazy.
It's fucked up, dude. And you know what's even crazier, right? Yes, they do the crazy shit for money. They do it for gold, whatever. Mm-hmm. What about the shit that they do for quote unquote experimental purposes, for science?
Yeah.
Right. Now, I was gonna save this for a full episode, but I figured you're on here, so I might as well talk about it. Obviously, you're a sports fan. Clearly, with your background, you got jerseys. You talk to so many people who are in the sports field and in the sports industry. I'm only assuming, right? You know Stanford, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. I don't even know what their fucking mascots are. To be honest, I think it's a tree.
I have no clue.
Okay.
Good point.
Stanford.
One of which, and I'm not even sure if you know what it is. Dad, you probably know. The Stanford Prison Experiment. You ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
You never heard of that?
I don't think so.
Oh my. All right, here we go. This isn't even a conspiracy. This actually happened. Like this is that picture that I posted on my story and I tagged both of you in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is Jordan Hall. That's 420 Jordan Hall, Stanford, California.
420
Yeah. That place held the Stanford Prison Experiment. The Stanford Prison Experiment was an experiment of your psyche. So, for instance, we were kind of talking about the police for a second. Do people fall in line with the police? You know, if you become a officer or a correctional officer, do you fall in line and automatically assume that role of I have authority, I have dominance, this is what you do when I say how I say it? Or what if you become a prisoner? Do you fall into that line? Oh, I'm a prisoner, I'm a convict, I have to follow in line of these rules by these, you know, specific groups of people, or I have to abide by the rules of the guards. Well, one guy, Philip Zimbardo, he's the professor who thought, let's find out. It's exactly what he did. He put out an application in, I believe it was the SF Chronicle, and they said, anybody who wants to join, fill out the application. We'll put you through a physical and mental eval to make sure you're not out of your fucking mind, which that went to shit real fast, by the way. And they got, out of 70 people, they pulled 24. So 12 and 12 were prisoners, and the other 12 were guards. And they're just regular people. Like if someone were to walk up to us and say, hey, Big Jim, do you want to be a prison guard or a prisoner? You pick. Easy. What do you want to be, prison guard or a prisoner? You pick. And that's exactly what it was. And immediately, so it happened in for 4 days. The test was supposed to go for I believe either a week or 2 weeks. It only lasted 4 days
because
right.
Yeah, I think I did hear about this.
They assumed those roles immediately. The officers, the prison guards, came to the prisoners' homes unannounced, arrested them, took them to a local police station, fingerprinted them, took mugshots of them, and even booked them, quote unquote. Then they blindfolded them and then took them over to Jordan Hall. From there, the officers were dressed in what they thought was the correct uniform of khakis, crazy ass aviators, the ones that have mirrors on it so you can't see the person's face or the person's eyes. And like I said, immediately when the prisoners came in, the guards told them to get into their cells and strip naked and start doing push-ups immediately. Like they just took over the fucking role. And then from there, dude, it's fucking. But also keep in mind, this is for science. Yeah. We need to see how people react in these situations.
So what was the outcome? What were they actually after to see how
people were power tripping or something?
Yes. That was the whole thing. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, is that people wanted to understand, or Zimbardo wanted to understand how people react within these certain situations. Do they adapt to this nature, or
that I was I think it was Schultz I was listening to, and he was kind of saying that about the pedophile stuff, how it's always the elite. They're always in these like pedophile rings and stuff like that. And they say it's like a power trip thing, that they could just like, they get off on like just being able to do whatever the fuck they want, so they do like just outlandish shit, like just because it's a power hungry thing,
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a kind of more of a testament too of what's going on with the police. Cause like if that shit happened in just an experiment with regular people, it's kind of crazy, I guess. Like,
and they say shit like this happens all of the time. And what's even crazier, Zimbardo, the professor, this dude was just as crazy as his fucking experiment. He awarded him the name of prison warden, and he watched people through a two-way glass. And there's pictures of it, and I'll be sure to put it on here too, or on Instagram. But there's pictures of at 2:30 in the morning they're making them do push-ups just because.
Naked.
And doing counts, naked, or they gave them the real old nightgowns, like they almost look like tall tees.
Yeah,
Muumuus. There you go. The prisoners were given that, and like stocking caps. And dude, it was weird. And actually, what's even crazier is that there's a movie based on it now. I believe it's on Netflix, but it's called Stanford Prison Experiment. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Watch that.
Yeah,
Stanford. So his objective was to get more of a dominant, look more into the dominant role people presume, and a submissive role. people assume.
Yes.
I mean, psychologically,
because they could have been like fucking like fuck you, this is fake. Well, I guess I don't know because
yeah,
they just got arrested.
and that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
They, you know, I don't want to use the word endorphins, but they automatically assumed the weaker of the two if they chose. Well, technically, why would you want to choose to be submissive?
That's true.
Doesn't
don't
every
know.
male
Like,
want
they
to
That
be
just-
shit, though, I
dominant?
guess.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's the thing too, is that I haven't even finished the research on it, but this is just what I was able to get for today.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just fucking nut. And again, Stanford, another fucking crazy thing, MK Ultra, and that's what we were talking about, Easy, a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. Stanford helped with the MK Ultra program. They provided people, students, professors, staff
Yeah.
for MK Ultra. And for those who don't know what MK Ultra is, MK Ultra was basically a mind control program that the CIA housed for anyone trying
Mind
to,
control shit, right?
yeah, for any, like, you know, quote unquote spies that were trying to come in and learn the ways of the U.S. and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's fucking. And then the trippy thing too is like that's like a real fucking like thing. It's not like you said just with the prison thing. Those aren't conspiracies. They're like actual things that happened. You know, and it's part of like the Freedom of Information Act now. Like you could go and look. You know that took place.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's fucking nuts, dude.
I have like sidebar question just because I'm with you guys and you guys. I know you look up stuff. What do you think the Corona stuff is a little bit of a conspiracy at all, or how do you feel on that?
Oh boy.
my weirdest conspiracy that I've heard the most, which is kind of probably the most disturbing because there's two parts of it. So one of the things that I heard was that it's a demographic and a age group control. So the negative part I heard of it was, okay, who is getting the most influence? Let's use the word millennials. Okay, age group 19 to 43. I know that's not the boundaries, but that's just say those are the cutoffs.
Yeah.
So in between that age group, who is the most influential? The millennials right now. Who's putting out the most investigative toward the corona experimental stuff and coming up with all the ideas and the vaccines? That age group. Okay, well, the smartest people in the world, there's only a certain percentage. So this kind of falls into the population control. At this point right now, why are certain type of industries still available? We can't go to a restaurant and interact with people, but we can walk into a liquor store and stand next to somebody purchasing alcohol or cigarettes. You can't walk into a facility where you're indoors and have a sit down, but you can also walk into a cannabis club.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not all cannabis clubs are legal in the States, but then you have the stimulus package. Then you have the unemployment boost, which is phenomenal because it's giving people some sort of a uplifting.
Help me out during quarantine.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But it's also going to the liquor stores and the cannabis clubs.
Well, what's crazy with the whole unemployment thing, and I was talking to you, Dad, about this whole situation. And again, I don't have a political party. I'm not for anybody or against anybody. Let me put that out there too. I'm not against anyone.
Pedro for president.
Yeah,
exactly. But what's crazy is when Obama was in office, he had the highest unemployment rate, I believe, in U.S. history, minus the Great Depression and all that other shit. Trump comes in, and again, I don't support the guy. I don't believe in some of the shit that he does, but he has made jobs for people. And again, I don't agree with him. Like the whole the Dakota pipeline
oil stuff. Yeah.
Right. I don't agree with that, dude. You don't put shit through fucking tribal land. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
But again, on the other side, he's giving people jobs. So I can't knock him for that, but I can knock him for putting it to tribal land. My point to all this, though, is Obama has a high unemployment rate. Trump comes in and that shit drops fucking the lowest it's ever been. And then Corona hits. And now it's surpassed Obama's level of unemployment rate. So how ironic is that?
Mm-hmm.
And people have been trying to get him out of office before he was even in the office.
Yeah.
So that's
No, yeah.
You
I'm
know?
in the same boat. And like to touch on your dad's topic too, or how he's talking about how like certain things are open. Like we had Eric Anders on. It's like, yo, so like it's a health thing, right? And like the gyms are closed, but McDonald's is open. You know what I'm saying? Like, and top of that too, like, so it's a sickness, right? And like, but you have people preparing and touching food to serve it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck? And then yeah, that's what I was thinking too with the election stuff too, is like, and that's how I'm looking at kind of too is election stuff. I think it's just disgusting. And it may not be that, and I'm sorry anybody who's offended and was rooting for like the that side, but like it's just fucking disgusting to destroy the economy in order to like win your election. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking instead of fucking putting shitty candidates up, how about you fucking like let the people pick? Actually go with who the people are electing to to support that party or whatever. Like it's fucking crazy.
What does it have to? What is the ultimate thing from it?
Money.
I think it's the bet. Yeah,
it's fucking money, dude. Everything unfortunately comes back to the money.
And it's like I look up on like WebMD and it's like the survival rate I believe of corona right now is like 99.6% or some shit like that. It's like, and what the fuck, bro? We closed down the entire fucking like country for this shit,
Yeah.
But I did hear there's different viruses from like different parts of the world as well. So like,
there's viruses everywhere. I mean, if you look on your Lysol
forms
bottles,
of corona, I guess that's what I meant.
Exactly, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, corona is the actual, if you want to say, that's the captain of the virus. Everything that goes underneath and fingers it is a strain.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
It's a strain. It's like Kush marijuana is top dog, and then you have all the strains from the marijuana. Then you have all the hybrids from the marijuana. I mean, it's what is taken from the actual strain. The flu's the flu.
Mm-hmm.
The flu's the
and
flu.
What's crazy is that's one of the first questions people ask when you walk in. Like, I'm a diabetic, so I have certain supplies that I have to go and get from a pharmacy. I walk into a hospital, one of their first questions is, hey, do you have any flu-like symptoms? No.
Yeah.
No. But why are you asking that? Shouldn't it be, hey, do you have any corona-like symptoms?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the other thing too, I don't fucking like the fact they're gonna stick something up my nose to fucking like test for it too. Like,
I'm gonna tell you right now, that is the most uncomfortable fucking thing I've ever felt in my life.
You had it done?
I didn't have to. I was going to get my tooth pulled, and because corona, I can't go there. I have to get tested first. Well, the whoever I was talking with online on email, they're like, yeah, we just need to make sure that, and I didn't also understand it because of the way that they typed it. All they said was we need to make sure you are clear to be seen. Now they didn't say medically clear, psychiatrically cleared, corona cleared. So I'm like, okay, I'm assuming we're in the middle of a pandemic. Let me go get tested just in case. I go get tested, fucking swab all the way down to the back of my throat. And I email them back and I'm like, hey, it came back. I'm negative. I'm good to go. And the new person, by the way, wrote back and was like, oh no, you didn't have to get tested for corona. We needed to make sure that you're medically okay as far as your diabetic levels. And I was like, you motherfuckers couldn't have just put that into the first email. It's so uncomfortable.
And then I don't know, like when they roll out this vaccine, because they did literally shut down the whole entire fucking like country for it. I don't know if they're gonna try and make everybody get this vaccine. That's the other fucking crazy part too, bro. The land of the free. How are you shutting shit down? Like, shouldn't it be my choice if I want to risk my fucking life and going out to the fucking like barbershop or something like that? And on top of that too, the whole mask thing. Like, if you're, and I get, some people are more susceptible to it, but those are the people who should be quarantined. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're supposed to be land of the free, bro. Like, let us make the fucking decision. But I'm wondering if they roll out with the vaccine, are they gonna force us all to do it?
Of course.
Or lie to us.
I'm not cool with that at all. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I do not like that. The idea of that.
At the place that I work that will not be named.
Not that place.
Not that place. My supervisor was joking, and I don't know if he's being serious or not, but the topic of a vaccine came up, and he's like, hey, what's everyone going to say when, it's mandatory to get this vaccine?
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Because in order for you to work, you got to be healthy. You can't come in with.
It's like, we're not making you, but in order to work here at this job, you have to fucking do this. You have to take the drug test. You have to,
But on the flip side of that, they may even. God damn, that's a big ass water bottle. On on the flip side of that, prior to Corona, when the flu season came around the first time, or not the first time, but flu season 2018, they said if you don't have your flu shot, then you need to go to occupational health and let them know. And all you have to do is wear a mask everywhere you go throughout the hospital. Now, keep in mind, this is right before I just said kind of where I work at. Anyways,
Stupid.
I don't think you did you? I missed it.
You have to wear a mask anytime you walk anywhere in the building. And so either it's probably going to be the same like that, or because this is such a high case that they're going to be like, no, you have to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
So
I think they're going to try to
don't
sneak
know.
it in somehow.
That's the thing too. Yeah, with them going up my nose. Oh, we lost you. Like I don't know how I feel about them sticking shit up my nose too. Fucking, I don't know. I'm just weird. I don't know if it's a fucking like microchip they're putting in my fucking brain or something like.
Yeah, it's
They do touch the semi-brain. My wife, his mom, had to get it. She thought she was exposed, so she had to go wait in line for 8 hours. And the Q-tip's 10 inches long.
yeah, it's no fucking joke, dude.
And they literally tilt your head back, and they go right to the back of your sinus passage, right to the base of your brain, and they twist it.
And that's the other weird part too. So it started with that process, and now, from what I've read, now they're having people test themselves. Like
or breathalyzer.
If you want to go to a hospital, you can, but you need to. They'll give you the equipment or whatever you want to call it to test yourself, and then you hand them the swab. Like, here it is, and you're not going all the way back. You're just swabbing your nose like you would for like a paternity test or something.
Okay.
Well, my biggest issue with it is the fact that if anybody who has to look into their health or have some sort of knowledge to take care of themselves, they're going to understand that the seasonal flu, no matter how many strains we have, the flu's the flu. But it technically burns out at 75 degrees. So that's why during the summer, nobody's sick with the flu. So which is a virus. So during the summer, nobody is sick with the virus because at 75 degrees and up, a virus burns out. Virus season is now coming upon us. We're going into the fall, going into the winter. So what is going to be the difference between the common flu compared to the corona or COVID-19? It's still a virus. What's making it stronger? What's making it susceptible to heat? A virus is a virus. There is no cure for it. There's no antibody for it. So how are you? What cures it is?
There's rumors of coming out of Wuhan labs and shit like that in China.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the monkeys that stole the fucking blood samples.
Yeah. Oh, that's a real thing.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard the Wuhan lab, and then I heard something about the bats or something like at the meat market, like the dogs were shitting on the bats or something like that, or birds or something.
So
the wet market.
Yeah, the thing
wet market. There you go.
The thing with the monkeys though is that this was in India, right? So, which by the way, since this whole shutdown that happened and the world fucking freaked out, pollution got a hell of a lot better. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, not here, son. We have fires going.
Oh yeah, we're kind of fucked. Well, actually, that's another crazy thing, right? So right before these fires started, and this is just my crazy fucking brain, but right before these fires started, people were rebelling more and more. Oh, I'm not wearing a fucking mask. I'm not. No, it's my same thing. Easy, same thing. It's my health. Let me do what I want to do. I'm going outside to do this. And as a matter of fact, we even had on a nurse, and I brought that up. Well, if people are running outside and going for bike rides, why the fuck are they wearing masks? They're not. If anything, they're whizzing by people at fucking 15 miles an hour on a bike. They don't need to wear a fucking mask.
Yeah.
Then we had these crazy thunderstorms, lightning storms that happened over here, and out of nowhere, half the Bay Area, which is a huge epicenter right now for this whole thing, is on fire. LA has a bunch of fucking fires right now. Those are the two places that people were like, masks, maybe, I don't know, now all of a sudden people are fucking are having to wear masks if they go outside because there's smoke that's covering all of the fucking areas.
You guys do it, yeah.
When you see the ash coming down, I mean, because that's how dense it is. You could see ash if you're parked. and at a stoplight, or you can see ash just floating in the air. So yeah, you're gonna
It's still going on
inhale
like
that.
right now. There's fires
Yeah.
right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there's fires
yeah.
right now.
There's
How do you
another
guys
one
feel
that's
about
east of us.
like living there? You don't ever like want to leave, or like the earthquakes?
I want to
and
get the
shit?
fuck out of
That's
here.
scary.
I want to get
Yeah.
the fuck out.
We did leave before. We left 10 years. We left in 99.
11 years ago.
Where
Yeah,
at?
we were in Arizona.
Okay. I
Yeah,
have a
we
question.
lived there.
Isn't there like a fucking like? I know they made a movie about it, and I really wanted to watch it. When the fucking like California like floated off from an earthquake or some shit.
San
The one with the
Andreas.
rock, San
Yes,
Andreas.
yeah, San Andreas.
Yeah.
Is that like a real like
So,
thing too?
by the way, real quick, this is the temperature. I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
No.
That's
Yeah,
the temperature. 97 with smoke.
Yeah.
That's here in California
Wow,
right
that's
now.
Yeah,
insane.
you
That's
can
a
see this.
California thing for sure.
You can see the grayness in the cloud, and if
Yeah.
you walk out, you can smell. Like if I don't know if you ever have backyard fires and you smell the soot and the crackling. You know, it's the ambiance. It's what you enjoy when you're doing that. But it's constant right now outside, and it's been
Fucking
that way for
sucks.
months.
Yeah,
But that's once this is all done in the water, what happens with these fires is that it gets into the root system with those trees, and it loosens the soil once those trees burn. So then within a couple of months, we're going to have flash flooding and mudslides.
Yep.
We've been going through, we just had an earthquake yesterday
Don't
here.
scare me, bro. It's the trippiest shit to me in the world, for real.
It is.
Earthquakes?
It-
Yeah, they're fucking
it is.
terrifying.
I was sitting up against the wall, and I weigh 268 pounds. And for me to get kicked forward by the earth, yeah, that's scary. But I'm used to it. You know, I've seen it. I lived through it. I've been on a 3rd-story building when the earth moved 10 feet.
I was just
you
gonna
know?
say you lived through, and I don't even know the name of it because it was 3 years before I was born.
The Loma Prieta.
Loma Prieta.
Yeah.
What's this?
Now, easy. Now, over here
That's
in
the
California.
fault line. The
Yeah.
fault line that we live on. We live on the Hayward fault line, but the one particular, if you look it up, you can probably Google it. The 89 earthquake in Bay Area.
It's fucking
it
crazy.
it leveled freeways where
there was a freeway. It was called Cypress, right?
Yeah, the Cypress. So
the Cypress was a double-decker freeway. Obviously, cars going one way and the other cars going the other. This shook so hard that the upper level collapsed
on the lower level.
And there were people driving.
Yeah.
We have bridges to go from Oakland to San Francisco. Parts of the fucking bridge fell to the bottom part of the same thing. It's a the old one is a double-decker bridge. The top part fell, and there's videos like the news crews were standing on the bridge, and you see a car driving, and then the fucking floor just gives, and the car disappears.
The only thing that saved more people that day from dying was the World Series when Oakland was playing San Francisco.
That's crazy.
Because people were watching it. People were at home.
The
people
Battle
were
of the
at
Bay.
the game. Battle of
What
the
are
Bay.
the odds, you know?
Yeah, and it just happened at that time. But no, it's something you grow up used to, you know, and then like these floods, it's gonna happen.
That's something you grow up used to. I grew up in Arizona.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
when I told you because we had another one last year up in Napa, which is the northern part of the Bay Area, and it shook all the way down to my house. I'm easily 50, probably even more, 80 miles from where Napa is.
Mm-hmm.
I was laying on my bed in the dead of night, and I felt like Tom and Jerry, the fucking cat, when shit freaks out the cat. I jumped up with my hands like this, like, holy fuck. It freaked the shit out. And it wasn't even a big one. But what freaked me out the most is I heard it before the earth shook. That's what scared me.
Yeah, it's a boom. It's a boom.
That's what I'm saying. Like, shit like that can happen, and we're fucking, like, we're so, like, fucking, like, like worried about fucking paper and fucking metal.
Yeah.
And, like, literally fucking, like, anything can happen at any moment. You just fucking die.
Yeah, what the fuck is money gonna do in the middle of a fucking earthquake?
You know what I'm saying? You can't take the shit with you, you know? It's fucking
you're buried in the same 6-foot hole.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Kind of going off of another crazy topic before we get you out of here. Zombie apocalypse. If that were to ever happen, right?
Okay.
If that were to ever happen, what the fuck is $100 bill gonna do for anyone else?
Yeah. Exactly.
Nothing. I want that water that you have. I want that food that you have. Oh, you even have fucking stuff to sleep on and be warm with. I'm taking that shit.
Yeah.
That's what that's the mentality of people. Not money. When shit hits the fan, it's not going to be money. It's definitely not going to be money.
Not
but do you think
technology.
something? Not even technology. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit scares me too because like, I'm so like enamored with my phone to do everything. Is like
Yeah.
fucking bro, man. How did you motherfuckers travel around the state and world without GPS back then? Like that blows my mind. How'd you make it to like job interviews on time? Like that's crazy.
That's
Map.
like,
That's
yeah.
probably the if I were to give anybody advice, learn how to build a fire, know your direction, and know how to, unfortunately, field dress an animal.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come, and know how to filter water.
Yep.
Because if you don't know your direction, you automatically are you're in jeopardized.
And
You know,
that's like,
if you can sit in your room right now and not know where the closest hospital is it north? Is it east? Is it a mile? Is it 2 miles? Say your closest fire station. My closest fire station is 3/4 of a mile northeast of us. So
Yeah.
if we have a something catastrophe that goes on here, that's where we're gonna meet up.
See the
Now,
directions and shit. I don't fucking. You know what I'm saying? It's like foreign
yeah,
language to me. I know how to get to the hospital closest to me, but I couldn't tell somebody else how to get there by using like northeast west. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
Like,
dude, that's like when I first met my wife. She was like, "Hey, when her and I first met, when we were just friends, like we weren't even dating. Hey, how do you get from here to here?" I'm like, "Oh, you just take the 880 is a freeway. Take the 880 north, and you get off on 24 and da 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 da." She's like, "How do you know which way that is?" I'm like, "The sun." She goes, "Well,
yeah,
what do you mean?" I was like, "Well, which direction does the sun rise and the sun set?" And this is funny, and I give her shit for it. She's probably gonna get mad that I'm even talking about this, but she's like, it sets in the west and it rises in the or no, she said it rises in the west and sets in the east." And I looked at her and I was like, I don't. You might want to pull out your phone then.
yeah,
If that's wrong.
yeah. You know, I
yeah,
hate when someone's like so wrong, but they're so convinced that you're actually like, wait, am I wrong? Like, what the, like, I
And
hate
yeah.
it.
honestly, that's how I know how to get certain places. Like, I know where north is almost primarily, not besides the sun, because of freeways. If you ever look at your freeways and then you look at it on a map, obviously there'll be turns to go certain directions. But again, the 880 over here only runs north and south.
Mhm.
The 580 only runs east to
East and
west.
west.
Yeah,
Well,
That's it.
that's how street blocks are directional. If you look at your street block, if I don't know about in Detroit, but here in California and even Arizona, there's always an arrow.
Yeah.
The arrow points in a certain direction. So if you know the topography of where you live, the grid, Arizona was easier because the grid of Arizona, each block is 1 square mile,
Right.
north and south, east and west. So if you know your streets, you'll know East 14th only goes north and south.
Again,
Here
East 14th is
is
a
a
street.
street in
yeah, yeah.
Oakland. Kind of like, oh, I got a question to ask you before we leave because my wife
Okay.
wanted me to ask you this. So north and south. So if you know that, and even in your car, if you drive in your vehicle and you look
It'll
at
tell
your
you.
radio, it'll tell you.
Yeah.
So once you start to get familiar with that, or even on your
I'm gonna start
phone,
doing it.
download a compass. And when you download the compass, it's already set. So just lay it down on a surface and you'll be like, okay, just go start with your bedroom. Okay, where's my bedroom? Well, technically, my bedroom's upstairs and to the back. Well, what direction is that? Lay down a compass and you'll start to understand, oh, that's east. Oh,
Yeah.
that's south. You know, that's probably the easiest way to start learning your direction.
Yeah.
That's definitely important.
What was this question from Mama Bear or from your wife?
So she's like, well, where's this guy from? I said, yeah, I go from Detroit. And he's like, oh, ask him what's 8 Mile. I was like, oh, okay. Is it in a movie? And I go, no, really, it's a street, isn't it? So my question from her is, ask him about what 8 Mile is and where is it at? So that's the question.
So pretty much 8 miles like so there's mile roads here in Michigan. I don't know if it's like everywhere. I don't know if you guys have that, but like
Yeah.
For
Arizona
instance,
does.
okay, yeah, cool. So like right now I'm closer to like 11 mile, you know, but if I kept going west towards Detroit, then I hit, 10 mile, 9 mile, 8 mile. 8 mile, the reason why it's such a big like topic, or obviously there's a movie, right? But it's
Yeah.
the divider between Macomb County and Wayne County, and like it's crazy because like it truly is a divider because there's certain parts along the 8 Mile. The part that I travel through, Gratiot, it's still both ghetto, both sides. But if you go further down, the Macomb side, like the white side is what they call it, it is way nicer. And you hit that
Yeah.
Wayne County side of 8 Mile, it's like way shittier. It's a crazy divide.
But that's a good way of for you to understand your direction.
Mm-hmm.
You just said, "Well, the street goes west of me is this." You probably even said that just by knowing,
Yeah.
you have memory. But have you really thought about, well, which direction is west?
When I was saying that, I was like, I could be completely wrong. I was like,
but it's out of memory. You grew up there. It could be right. You may not even know it. So it's.
I just know when I go to, what I'm saying, if I'm going to like a Lions game, it's 94 West I take. So that's why I said West, honestly. But yeah.
Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders. Now, yeah, were you pissed about that? How you feel about that?
Yeah,
that's some bullshit, huh?
For me, I take it this way. We left California, so we left the Raiders years ago. So I kind of even started liking the Cardinals back then because they were a good team.
Fitzgerald,
Bolden, Wagner, all them guys. So we already did it to ourselves. But as far as
rest in peace, Pat Tillman.
Yeah, as far as the notoriety that they're getting just for the stadium, I just hope they live up to the stadium.
Yeah, me too.
Now they can't put people in it.
Exactly. Yeah. There's some investor out there that's pissed right now.
Fucking
what's crazy too is like I know here in Detroit when they built the new Little Caesars Arena for the Red Wings, and now the Pistons now too. It was a big deal because they were taking out of the city workers' pensions to do it, And they're like, oh, it's gonna be good for our economy. It's gonna be good for our economy. We're doing it for it's gonna boost Detroit's economy. Like, well, here we are. And Detroit is actually gotten better, right? But like now we're like those stadiums can't be full or filled up,
Yeah.
Actually, and I know we keep saying this, but I have one last question before we get out of here.
I have one more too.
Damn. Okay. Well, this is a totally different topic.
We definitely gotta do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
is too much fun, man. I could talk to you for hours, literally.
Yeah, we can.
Flint, Michigan.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just saw a documentary. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. I just saw. Well, I mean, it wasn't a conspiracy documentary, but it was about the town of Flint.
Mm-hmm.
The water?
No, the police department there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Holy shit!
6-7 fucking police officers. Flint's a pretty shitty place, dude.
Dude, yeah. There's 6 to 7 officers on a given shift for a city of 100,000 people.
What?
Yeah, it's some wild shit.
And you have Netflix now, Dad, so you can't be like, I can't watch it. No, you can definitely watch it now.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's weird too, that show, because it's like an actual production too. I was tripped out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, is this real? I was tripping out like, this is fucking, that's insane. I'm from Michigan. I didn't know that until that show came out.
Dude, it's nuts. Like it's crazy how many. Well, first off, they went through 2 police chiefs. Then hella people started to leave. They even have a mom and a son new recruit. Like the mom
nobody wants to join?
Right. Their police academy was 12 people. Of the 12, 6 passed.
Well, that's better odds than most people have.
But still, it's fucking nuts that and then
weird.
Obviously on top of that, and this is, by the way, I think it came out 2018.
Yeah.
And the whole Flint water thing was out probably 16
a year or 2 before that.
Yeah. And they're still having water problems. That shit's still not cleared up. People are still lighting their water on fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. Well, my question's a little bit on the lighter side. Are you excited to see Adrian Peterson?
I should have did a video on that yesterday. I like AP, so I'm happy because like I used to have I built my credit through like season tickets when I was like 18. I had like a small loan. I got my car from my aunt through. And then when I was done with it, the lady's like, you could turn this to a credit card. And I was like, cool, can I get season tickets with it? She's like, yeah. Very first game I went to, fucking Adrian Peterson ripped the fucking like 70-yard run on us. And I was like, so he's always been like one of my favorites, but he's not the same guy. I'm hopefully he's there on the goal line carries though. I'm hoping he's some muscle along the goal line.
Kind of how I felt about Marshawn Lynch. And
Yeah.
the one opportunity I was able to see Deion Sanders go up against Jerry Rice.
Oh, that's
So,
dope. That's
yeah, that
dope.
was dope. That was dope. So that's kind of why I was like, oh man, I wonder if this guy's excited just to see him, like his out game, like Vince Carter. Vince Carter's finally done,
Mm-hmm.
but that dude, I
Sad to
loved
get a
Vince
ring.
Carter, huh? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no. I was hoping it'd be like one of those. Sometimes like older guys just hop onto like a championship roster just to get the ring. I hope it was
Karl Malone.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well,
all right, guys.
Easy. Thank you so much for being on, man. Please, before we go, let people know where they can find you. Where can they follow you at? And
So this is all new to me, so I'm gonna be a little slow rolling it out. But SpeakEZ Sports _ is the new Instagram. I might play around with that a little bit though, see if I can find something better. Does that work? Is that good? SpeakEZ _ or
It sounds great, honestly.
I like it.
yeah, because my goal with that, man, my original goal was to do all sports. MMA is taking me over, man. I've been like fucking like a lot of my fan base is MMA. A lot of my guests have been MMA. So I opened up SpeakEZ Sports. I got the LLC and everything. I want to take on other podcasters that have more time to cover these other sports that I can't.
Yeah.
Cover football. You come to my channel. Here's
So hold on. Is that a exclusive announcement right there?
This is an exclusive announcement. Yes.
Oh shit, son.
Yep. Yeah. So SpeakEZ Sports is now going to be like a platform for not just the SpeakEZ podcast, but other podcasters and sports reporters as well. We have press credentials for the UFC, for the NBA. We're working on other stuff as well. But yeah, I want to do this because I emailed Dave Portnoy at Barstool. He didn't pick up my podcast, so I got to do it my own damn self. And we're gonna build something like Barstool. Hopefully, that's the plan. That's the goal.
That's awesome.
I tell you, you probably have a better opportunity going after Ava Fiore. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
Type in cleats and cleavage. She's a former Golden Gloves boxing champ. But if you look at her now, you're gonna be like, why the hell is she boxing? But she's a gambler and she loves sports. She's a Giants fan at heart. But she's just like you. She just rambles sports stats.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And she's beautiful. So
yeah,
you guys got something to look up later. Ava Fiore or Cleats and Cleavage. That's her webpage.
Cleats and Cleavage. That's hella funny.
Cleats and Cleavage. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna see if she joined the team. Honestly,
if she does, call us.
Yeah.
I will.
I'll mute my mic. I won't say nothing. I'll just stare.
Yeah. Send me your Instagram or something.
Well, Easy, man, thank you very much. Everyone, please be sure to follow Easy. I'll be putting that in the description below.
Yes,
if you are watching this on YouTube or listening on any and all podcast platforms. Where else, by the way, can they find you on?
I apologize. Yeah, so Apple, we're on Apple and Spotify, SpeakEZ Podcast. But if you want all the sports and all the, I like my content on YouTube, but it's YouTube content is still youtube.com/SpeakEZ Podcast. That's the word speak, the letter E, the letter Z, and then easy or podcast. I apologize.
Oh, good, man. Thank you very much for coming on. And trust me, dude, I like I said, we can talk for hours. And there's some more shit that I actually want to talk about.
Yeah,
and
the fact that we touched based on most of it.
The fact that you
know
just
we kind
brought
of over, huh? Yeah, we can do this again, man. Just let me know. We'll pick out a date. I know the times is like kind of weird because you're Pacific time.
Yeah.
You know what? I might be going out there on the 19th, hopefully to cover the Woodley Covington fight. So
shit.
Time zone then. How close are you guys to Vegas?
Driving 8 hours,
8 hours.
about an hour and some change flight.
I'll be in my hotel room. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna quarantine me, so we could probably do one then if you want.
Let's do it.
We'll be on.
All right. I'll see you guys.
All right, man. Thank you very much.